Hello and welcome back to B-Rated, the segment of our show that reviews the best of the worst in cinema. I'm your host, Paige, and this week's hot seat is occupied by Heckbender's Spaghettiman. I'll admit, this one seems pretty tame compared to the other movies we've reviewed on this show, but believe me, it's here for a reason. After being unjustly fired, Clark Kant runs head-on into a rough job market. Despite his connections, he has no marketable skills. In a drunken stupor, Mr. Kant unwittingly eats a bowl of radioactive pasta, and it awakens within him the power to shoot spaghetti from his hands. After an intense period of training, he does what any real superhero would do: fight crime and earn money doing it. So he's a millennial. Viewers on Amazon Prime gave Spaghettiman a 4.3 out of 5 stars, but I'm not so sure it deserves such a high score. I wish I could say that this was an awesome movie worthy of ranking so closely to the Velocipaster, but I can't. This movie's biggest downfall was its inconsistency. The acting, the writing, the action scenes, the jokes, and the plot itself were all inconsistent throughout the movie. The only consistency that it did have was the theme of a poor, tired millennial and medium shots. I'm not kidding. I think 50% of the movie was medium shots. The score for this movie was clearly somebody's garage band with an overzealous drummer, and everything else regarding production was just okay. You can definitely tell that the script writers pulled a lot of tropes straight from another familiar cynical superhero. There were a lot of jokes in the movie, but only half of them were actually funny. The others just dragged on way too long, and instead of laughing, we were just asking ourselves when the joke would be over. There was one scene where Clark plays the ukulele and sings a song about being twins to a pregnant woman's unborn children, and it was pretty funny. The story had a great start and followed the superhero movie formula pretty well, but it just took way too long to introduce the movie's main villain. About 45 minutes into the movie, we got bored and started asking when this movie would be over. And now it's time to take a closer look at this week's B-movie monster, the Spaghettiman. Yes, I am aware that he's not a monster, but we've still got to talk about him, so here we are. When Spaghettiman fights, he flings mounds of spaghetti that come out of various body parts. And when I say various body parts, I mean various body parts. The consistency of the spaghetti is always cooked, but it seems to have special properties that make it strong enough to knock out opponents, choke a grown man, and restrain bad guys. Kinda reminds you of another superhero clad in red. Clark Kant, the hero blessed with these pasta powers, is the embodiment of a lazy millennial. He's tight on money, so instead of offering to use these powers for good, he becomes a superhero for hire. But even if you don't ask for his help, he still expects payment for his services. Overall, I wish I could say that this was a good movie, worth an hour and a half of your time, but the plot hit such a lull that it was hard to get over. It felt like a student paper with 3 pages of information that was dragged out to fit the 5-page requirement. It had really great jokes and a unique take on a superhero movie, but they simply weren't enough to save the movie. So when should you watch this? Well, if you just need background noise or something to watch while you do homework or something, then this is a good movie to watch. This has been my review of Spaghettiman. Tune into Nerd Central to watch next week's episode of B-Rated, where we review
Cute little buggers.
Thanks for watching.